Welcome to Biblical Greek. In today's lesson, we're going to go back to the first declension nouns, but this time we're going to focus on the feminine nouns with a ending and a ending. Now, if you know what declensions are, decline from the Latin meaning falling away from the nominative singular form of a noun, and then looking at how the paradigm goes. So let's look at first declension, feminine nouns. First declension, feminine nouns with a ending, and then we're going to do the ending. So let's draw up our table first. You have singular on one side, plural on the other, and we begin with nominative case, vocative, accusative, genitive, and lastly, dative. Remember our case endings and what cases mean. Nominative is subject, vocative is address, accusative, object, genitive, of something, possession, and to or for something is the last one, which is dative. So now let's begin by looking at first declension feminine nouns with a ending. So let's first write down the endings, and then we're going to focus on putting a word in and translating it. So here we go. A I. So both the nominative and the vocative forms are exactly the same for the singular and the plural. What helps us is the context. So keep that in mind. In us, that is the accusative. Es on, genitive, singular and plural. And finally, a with the iota subscript on the bottom, don't miss that. Ice. So, AI in us, is on, a ice. Now, if you remember in the first declension masculine, this was oo on, but that's changed over here with the a endings. So it is a little complicated, but again, as I mentioned to you, the only way to do these paradigms is memorize. Now, I will also explain to you why these shifts happen. Why does this not remain ooh and all of that? But we'll come to that in another video, so make sure you watch that as well. So let's use the word RK. RK is beginning. So RK, beginning as a subject. Or Kai, beginnings as a subject. Or K, exactly the same as this one here. The nominative singular and the vocative singular are same, but if you remember, context solves that problem. This is beginning as an address. And then archai, again exactly the same as the nominative plural, but context helps us again. Arcane, arcas, accusative plural as an object. So beginning, beginnings. Arches of the beginning. Archon of the beginnings. And then arche, dative, to or for the beginning, and archais, to or for the beginnings. Keep in mind the iota subscript here. Now, why do we say to or for something or of something? Because in Greek, just that one word, when it's translated, we require 3 words in English. So, arche, to the beginning, but when you look at it in Greek, it's just one word. But that's how it's been inflected, and it contains that entire meaning in just that one simple word. So there you have the declension of the A ending, first declension, feminine noun. But now let's look at the A ending of the first declension, feminine noun. So let's draw up our chart again. Singular, plural, nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative. One reason I'm drawing all this out instead of just projecting a PowerPoint or something like that is because the more we watch this written out and drawn out, the better we begin to get with our memorization. Now, there's something we need to talk about here. So I'm going to erase this side of the board because when it comes to the "a" ending, there are 2 different forms based on the word. Okay? So let me go ahead and erase this of the "a" ending and draw out another "a" ending paradigm. One is for the word hemera, another is for the word doxa. Now keep in mind, both of them end with "a", but there's a slight difference. So again, this is still first declension feminine, but "a" ending, but there's a slight difference depending on the words. So let's draw out our table again. Singular, plural, nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, and dative. So let's begin. First, we're going to put one kind of endings here, and then another kind right here. Again, they're both "a" endings under the same first declension feminine nouns, and yet there's a slight difference, and we'll see why. Okay? So here we go. I, on us, on, ice. Now let's go over to the other side. Again, keep in mind this is still an "a" ending, and it is still first declension feminine noun, but this time there's a slight difference, just one tiny letter, and let's see if we can find that letter. So I, on us, ace, on, a, ice. So let's try to plug in the words. Okay, so the first, for this side, the word is hemera. Hemera is day. Day. And then hemerai is days. We're talking about nominative plural, days, as a subject of the sentence. Hemera. This is vocative. Again, exactly the same. And I'll put the rough breathing there so that way you can tell why we're saying it with the h sound. Keep in mind, in the Koine modern pronunciation is emera. That's why you hear people greet each other in Greece as kalamera. Kalos is good. Hemera or emera is day. So kalamera is good day. Now, vocative plural would be he, me, rai. Exactly the same as the nominative plural, but this time it's days, but you're addressing the days. And then accusative is, again, I need to put the rough breathing on that. Heme ran as an object, day, and heme ras, days, as plural accusative. Genitive would be heme ras. Now, if you notice something here, this heme ras is exactly like this heme ras, where accusative plural is the same as the genitive singular. But again, the context helps us know that this is simply a direct object and this is possession. It may seem very complicated to us right now, but when you are reading Greek and you're beginning to parse the sentences and the words, you draw the sentence diagram. It's not as complicated as it seems right now. Okay? So, of the day, hemeron, of the days, and heme ra with the iota subscript under the a is 2 or 4 the day, and heme rice is 2 or 4 the days, dative plural. So that's where you have the paradigm for first declension feminine with the a ending, day, days, or of the day, of the days, 2 or 4 the day, 2 or 4 the days. Now let's go on this side. Again, it's the a ending, and it is still under the first declension feminine, but there's a slight difference, and we're going to use the word doxa. And what does the word doxa mean? Doxa means glory. That's where we get the word doxology. So glory as a subject, plural, singular, nominative singular, but glories is nominative plural. Vocative, if you're addressing glory, what has happened to you? That would fall under doxa again. Very much the same. Nominative, vocative, singular, plural are the same, just like here, also here. And the context helps us understand which one is which. Doxa, glories, but you're addressing rather than the subject of the sentence. Doxon as an object. Doxas as an object, plural, accusative, plural, glories. And now we come to the genitive of the glory. Doxes, of the glories. doxone. And then dative, which would be 2 or 4, glory, doxa, and doxize. So as you look at this chart, of course, most of the endings are very similar. They are first declension feminine with the a ending, both of them. But there's a slight difference when it comes to the genitive singular and the dative singular. A here, is here. You see, notice the difference? As, is, a. And that's just because of that particular kind of word, and words that are like the doxa words, words that are like the hemera words. That's what you will find to be distinct. So again, just the way we did for the others, you have to memorize these paradigms, write them out 100 times. There is no substitute to grit work. And once you get this in your system, you don't have to worry about them the rest of your lives. Of course, you need to revise and or you need to review them. Of course, you need to review them time to time, but overall, they stay in your memory, except for a few things like the as versus ace, or the a versus a in the dative singular here and the dative singular there. But overall, they're still up here. And so, I, on, us, on, a, ice. Again and again. I, on, us, on, ice. And not just write them down, say them. I, on, us, ace, on, a, ice. I, on, us, ace, on, a, ice. It takes a little hard work, but once you get them, they stay in your memory. So again, this lesson was about first declension feminine nouns. We looked at those with the a ending and then the a ending, but in the a ending we have two different kinds. One where the genitive singular has as versus ace, a with the iota subscript versus a with the iota subscript. That concludes our lesson on the first declension feminine nouns with a and a with those two endings.